All right. I'm here with Coach Misch from UCCS men's track team. So, Coach, last weekend you guys went to Mines for the Joe Davies Open. Tell me, how'd that go for you guys?
It was fantastic, actually. We had a great 2 days, Friday and Saturday. Out of the 16 men we had compete, 15 of them walked away with personal bests. That's pretty hard to beat, and including a school record in the men's distance medley relay. So it was a great weekend for us.
And, next weekend you guys go into the Mack Indoor Championship. Kind of talk about what's your expectations for that, and, indoor, outdoor, what's kind of your preference?
Without a doubt, outdoor season. I don't think that God intended us to run around in small circles inside a building. So outdoor is that's traditional track, and I think that most people, 90% at least would agree that that's where the fun really is. The indoor season is really short, and it's also kind of dictated by facilities, weather conditions, things like that. So it's a little tougher, but yeah. So we have some great opportunities in the outdoor season when we travel and go places, and of course the team looks forward to that. And it's just more of an optimal situation. So I think that's, like I said, most people would agree with that.
So do you use indoor just kind of stepping stone, kind of get the freshmen acquainted, or how do you use indoor?
Well, it's a great question. It really depends on the individual. Depends on the situation with who we have on the roster and what year they are. Some of our guys that are more longer distance runners, we don't race really indoor. It's not as advantageous for them, and we just want to keep them healthy. And they come off of a long cross country season, and this particular last year nationals wasn't until December. So it's tough physically and emotionally. You kind of got to recharge a little bit. You can't just keep hammering away at a high level. You kind of got to recharge. So we kind of focus more our championship into the cross country season and our championships in May. Kind of like a 6-month cycle. I always say if something great happens indoor, we'll take it. If not, we'd want to stay healthy, and we use the races as just competition is to get sharp. But you can only do certain workouts at certain times of the year. You don't want to try to peak too early or whatever. Also, if you have a kid that's maybe going to redshirt, like say they redshirt the outdoor season, then you might push a little bit more indoor to see what you can get out of that opportunity. And we have that this year with some guys. A couple guys are going to redshirt outdoor in the 800. Colin McCloskey and Carson Aberley both run at nationals for us, and they're on the distance medley relay indoor that's currently sitting 9th in the country, and we're hoping to get into the NCAA indoor championships. We'll see after this weekend. But since they're redshirting outdoor, this is kind of focus for those guys right now.
And that's good practice for everyone.
Yeah. Most of the time it works out.
And, Coach, going into your 8th season at UCCS, kind of what made you decide to become a coach? And, do you have any advice for future coaches out there?
Well, when I was young and in high school, was competing, whatever, had a great experience. Had a couple good mentors, good coaches in terms of people that really had a big influence in my life. Guys that I said, this is something I think I want to do one day. Of course, at that point, I had no idea how that road would look, where it would take me, and the experiences in between, whether it was high school level, college level, overseas, post-collegiate people, whatever it was. But at the end of the day, coaching's coaching. It's about the people you're working with. End of the day, you're not, talent levels are going to come and go, and awards, accolades, records, whatever, man, that stuff is like dust in the wind. I mean, really, it's everybody wants to compete, everyone wants to do a good job, but it's really comes down to the people you're working with, the relationship you have with those folks. And so at this level, most of the time we have the opportunity to work with somebody for 4 to 5 years, and that's a lot of time in a person's life, going from 18 years old to 23. So a lot of changes going on, and you get to be a big part of that process. And the longer you do this, it's cool because you have more to look back on, and these people grow up and they get married or have kids, or they're we have guys or gals that have gone into coaching too, and that's really cool because you get to mentor those people and you kind of see what they do. So it's a very unique vocation. but it's what I always wanted to do ever since back in high school. At first, I wanted to be an architect. To drafting, I was definitely going down that road, but as I kind of fell in love with the sport, again, like I said, I was fortunate to have the experience of having a couple of good coaches that had a really big impact in my life in a lot of different ways, and that was what steered me in that direction of saying that's what I want to do, that's what I want to be.
And, does personality, your personality, play a factor in your coaching role?
Well, I guess you'd have to ask the guys on the team. But yeah, sure. You're molded by your experiences. The things you've been through. They certainly change your perspective on how you handle situations that come up. And I always tell the guys, I go, adversity creates opportunity. It's not a question of if somebody's going to have, some rough waters they got to go through, whether it's an illness, an injury, life stuff, family, finances, relationships, whatever it is, the car breaks down. I mean, life, it happens. And you've got to kind of roll with that. You have to deal with that. And the question is, what do you do with it? Is it going to break you apart, or are you going to keep it perspective and try to use that to grow as a person? Running, sports, somebody wins, somebody loses. You're always facing the question of, and it's going to come down to you at the end of the day, like what have you done with the opportunity you have? And that's a question that when you have to answer, you have to be honest with yourself. And so our sport happens to be unique in the fact that it's pretty cut and dried. A result is a result. Your name is in the results. And whether you've had a cold or a virus or whatever's going on, there's not going to be an asterisk next to your name that said, oh, this kid had a final 2 days ago, or this guy, he's struggling or whatever. It's just, it is what it is. And so, I guess it's also one of the reasons I really like the sport. I like the fact that it is pretty straightforward, and that if you're given an opportunity to compete, it's up to you what you do with it. You take the politics out of it most of the time. Very rarely does something of controversy come into it. It's usually like a result as a result. And if you get that chance to be on the starting line, it's up to you. So that's what I probably like the most about from a competitive standpoint.
Well, Coach, thank you for all that, and good luck this weekend at the Mack Indoor Championship.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Glad to have you here.
All right.